G'day folks, welcome to another episode of Bandaged Cube Creations. Well, today's episode, I'm pretty confident it's going to contain two puzzles. I'm only making the first of them now. This one's called the Grandstand Cube, but it's a relatively straightforward one, so I thought, let's get a second puzzle in the same episode. Don't know yet what that will be. I'll have to wait and see too. So this one contains a plate centered at up front, and it also contains a big clock centered across front left to front right. That's it. So you're probably going to look at this and instantly go, well, this is basically just a big block, right? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, with a big block, these can't be separated. So what we can do here is turn that sort of thing off. So let's just start scrambling it and then see what difference, if any, that makes to the scramble. So, normally we'd be doing this sort of thing. Initially just separating pieces. And because in a real big block, we've only got two faces to do the turns, there's no way we can flip any of the edges. And there's no way we can get 3 cycles of corners. We're going to get 2 plus 2 swaps all the time. So here, the sort of thing that I might want to do also is spin that around, and then I can do that. And the question is, does that actually allow us to do any kind of turns which we would not normally be able to do? Obviously, if I did spin it around and wanted to turn something on this upper face, then I'd probably have to do that. Then I could do that sort of turn. So we will wait and see. That's actually just solved that. Well done, me. We will wait and see whether that does have the effect that we're kind of hoping it will, I guess. I wouldn't mind getting those separated also. I've just managed to make a block. That's how clever I am. Let me see if I can get them way apart from each other. That looks better. So there's not a heap more that you can do with that. I mean, you can do that a few more times and see what comes of it, but essentially not really anything you can do. I suppose this sort of thing. But around about now, you look at it and go, okay, time to solve. So we'll put all this back together and we'll just start solving as we would solve a big block now. So for me, I would get these side edges done. That's a white blue. Just turn that across into position. Green yellow belongs here. That can be turned into position. So far so good. Green orange down here. That's cycling home. This one is a white orange, which also is going to cycle home without needing to be flipped. And these last three, I mean, it's possible that I could have a swap. I don't think I do in this case, but if I did have a swap of edges, I would turn a side face one turn and then resolve. In this case, it looks as though all the edges are just straight in, no flipping, and that's my understanding of this puzzle. It's not actually possible to flip the edges. Let's have a look at the corners. Again, what would we do? We'd get these bottom two ones done first. So a white, blue, orange there, or a green, yellow, orange here. Okay, I'm going to put the green, yellow, orange over here first because it's simple. So just 3 down, down, up, ups to swap these two. Return that into position. This is now a white, blue, orange. So I can rotate and swap these two. Undo. Let's see what we are left with. You can see here we're actually left with the thing solved. And again, my understanding is there's no way here to get a 3 cycle. So either you're just going to have 3 more of them and there'll be these two needing to swap and these two needing to swap, or it'll be solved like this. Now, this is probably where my method these days differs from my method years ago for a big block. Years ago, I was just, all I would do would be edge piece series and corner piece series, and I didn't look at Sune at all. And I had a quick look at an older video and I just thought, nah, that's just such a long way to do things. So absolutely now to twist corners, I am going to use Sune and its mirror. So much, much easier. I'll hold it like this so that I've got this freely turning right face. That's going anti-clockwise, that's going clockwise, that's going anti-clockwise. So I'm going to set up there so that these are in the correct position. This one twisting anti-clockwise, this one twisting clockwise, and then carry out the Sune. And then ordinarily I would just do this. You can see that if I try that, I'm a little bit stuck here. So what I need to do is rotate the whole thing around like that. Now I can do the Sune mirror. I'll rotate it back. You can see those two corners have been twisted, and that just leaves the last two. That's got to go anti-clockwise. So the easy setup here is just that. Now what did I do? That there and that there. I've been known to muck up very simple setup moves in the past, but that time, no problem. That is the Grandstand cube, and that's why I said I was pretty confident that I'm going to do this and another puzzle. I also said I've got no idea what that other puzzle is yet, so I'm going to find out soon, just like you. Well, today's video we're going to be looking at this puzzle called the Staggered block, and this one was presented by Tyler Robinson, and it has 3 parts. It's got this slice here running from front to left, and it's got 2 pairs. One of them is, well, let's have a look. The left, what's the left up to left up back, and the front down to front down right. So they kind of all go along there. They're staggered, I suppose. And so that's what we're going to be dealing with. The easiest way to scramble it, and this is going to be a huge sort of, I don't know, not a giveaway, but it just lends itself then. You can see that sort of forms itself into a big block. So there you go. There's the staggered part of it. Now, the interesting thing is, okay, so we'll start scrambling it as if it was a big block where we can do these sort of turns just over and over in varying degrees. And if that was set, that's all we could do. But we noticed that a couple of things. This thing is trapped at the moment, and that thing is trapped as well. So we want to kind of move that out and put something else there. So for example, I could turn that off and replace it with perhaps that blue-red. Put it back in. It's not going to separate from the center at the moment, but it will separate that piece. Same thing over here. We could bring that around and perhaps move that blue-yellow in. And you can see that's looking better now. It's looking more scrambled-ish. And then we can just sort of keep doing what we were doing before. But the fact that we can turn that face, that upper face, and do things does mean that it's not exactly the same as a big block, and it's not going to solve in precisely the same way. So we can clearly and happily flip edges in the normal fashion, just like that. So edges can flip, corners can twist. And I suppose in terms of scrambling it, you do want to get these upper and lower faces moving a little bit. So it's not just these 2 faces, but I also move this around, then do a couple of bits there, and perhaps move this one around, move this face along with it, just to involve this upper face, and the same sort of thing over here. And I suppose that around about this point, things look mostly scrambled-ish. You can start moving these things around the puzzle as well. And sometimes that'll help get a better scramble. Sometimes I'm just not convinced it does anything. You can kind of see it's bringing things back at what it looks like it is, that green-yellow piece there. So I might just take that one off and see how that's looking. I've got 3 here that doesn't matter what you do with bandaged cubes sometimes, they just tend to give you trouble in scrambling them. So I do definitely want to get some of them. Why can't I turn that? Oh, because there's a bandage block there. I do want to get some of them sorted and moved, but I reckon that's probably close enough now. So as far as the solve goes, the first thing, obviously this slice is completely fixed in place, and I want to initially just put the other pieces where they belong. You can see this is a blue-white. It's got to go somewhere between this blue and this white, but it's obviously sort of flipped over, so I'm just going to bring it around to my upper face and just turn it so that it's like that. So at the moment it's in position, I suppose. And the other one, same thing here. If I just turn it like that, it's kind of flipped. So probably, what can I do? Occasionally this is a little bit harder than it should be. It's just a matter of thinking what's blocked and what's not. And I'll just turn that off and put this up here. Okay, that's back to where it was. And I think now we will be okay. So we've got that staggered block structure set up. Now, what I want to do is just put one way and the other way, so that I form this sort of big block area. And the first thing is to get these two pieces where they belong, and then they'll just sit there. So to do that, I just look over here and say that's where it actually belongs, the pair there. So this piece is actually white-red. So the first thing that I would like to do is think about getting a white-red instead of that orange-white. So let's say that I want to move up to sort of this red face to do that. I'll put a white-red if I can find it. There it is. Put that on top, and we can bring that. I probably wouldn't put it there actually. Put it around here. And I've got the white-red going to the orange-white, if I think about that. So I can do it on the red face or the green face, whatever works, because that's sort of freely spinning. So I reckon that has got to be red. So I think what we'll do is initially just put the red up to the top here. Bring that around. Then I can turn the piece. And it had to go there. So now I can just rotate and return that pair. And that's done. Same thing with this one. This one is supposed to be a yellow-green. So let's put the yellow-green somewhere sensible. And just, I'm going to put that back there so I've got better movement up here. The yellow-green piece is there. I'll just need to turn that. And the yellow-green's going to yellow-red. So let's just see. That probably will work if I can just initially move. Oh, can I move that out the way? I probably want to, move that out so that sort of separate it from there, so that when I turn that yellow-green on, that pair is not in the way. Then I can return it, and let's see if that all looks lined up and done. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. In some ways, that's not the hardest bit. It's not really too many hard bits on this, but it's just the really important first bit, and it can be a little bit, I suppose, annoying. But now, either we want to have the white as top or yellow as top. It doesn't really matter. What we're going to do is go about solving the edges. And the first edges I want to solve are these middle edges where the colors are just what they appear to be. So orange-green has got to go there. And there's an orange-green there. You can see that that's flipped because it's going to turn around like that. So initially, I just want to bring it up to the top and flip it over. And then, oh, it's not there yet, is it? Turn it around like that and perhaps do something like, I can't do that, can I? So I'll just put it down to the middle layer and return that into position. And now that can be moved into place. And I can just turn it without doing sort of 4 moves because it's the first turn that I'm doing. This one over here, red, blue. That one is sort of flipped as well. So what I can do there is flip it over so the blue's on top. And I suppose then just think that will turn, I can turn the upper face to bring it on, and then undo, undo. So those two side edges are done. All right, the next one, this green edge here, you would initially think it's green-yellow, but actually the green-yellow is sitting right there. So what is it? Well, if we follow it around, we see that it's red-yellow. So the red-yellow has to go here with the yellow at the bottom. So that is ready to turn. So I can just cycle those three pieces. That's all done. In the same way, what's this one got to be? Well, again, it's turning like that. So this is going to be blue-yellow, which is up the top. And to put that one in place, I can turn its position up, put the blue-yellow on, undo, undo, and it doesn't look right, but when I turn that around, it does look right. So those two bottom edges are done, the side edges are done. That just leaves the final three. And again, with the final three, let's put this into place and see what's what. This one is supposed to be white-green, so the white-green's got to go there. This one is supposed to be white-orange. So in actual fact, we have a swap of two edges. And the third edge is this red-green, which is in position but flipped. So the first thing we deal with is the swap. We do that by turning one of these faces here, this one or this one, which does not contain a bandaged part. And we now just want to replace these two edges. So the first one, this blue-yellow down to here. The second one, the blue-red, is going over to here. So those two are back where they should be. That will leave us three final edges that need to be now cycled. So again, if we think what's got to go where, let's have a look. The red-green clearly has to go there. The white-orange, even though it looks like that's a white-green, remember that's turning around like that. So the white-orange has to go where the white-green is. So that is the piece movement. And I just need to think, what order do I carry it out in? In other words, if I do a down, you can see that's flipped, down, up, up. I'm going to end up with two flipped pieces. But if I note that that's going to go down into its position wrongly oriented, then I know that I turn that last. In other words, I turn that to there and then move it onto its position, undo, and you can see without me undoing that last move, those edges are done. So when we put it back, all edges are complete. So let's return it to the big block formation. What we want to do next is solve the corners. Now, the corners, again, I want to do two at the bottom. And again, it doesn't matter if yellow's top or white's top, just whatever you choose. Say these two at the bottom first. So looking at the colors, that's yellow, green, red that I want to put in there. It's over here. So I will just do a setup to put its position there and now swap these two with three down, down, up, ups. Okay, that's been done. Turn that back. That is in position. This next one is blue, orange, yellow. Now the blue, orange, yellow is sitting here. So if I do a setup, I can swap those two. These two will swap as well, but I'm not concerned about them yet. All done, and we'll put them back. And just remember, you can always turn this and kind of look at the two corners and say, oh yes, they are actually correct. That's good. Now that will leave me four. Let's have a look at the last four. I've got the white, red, green, which needs to go over to here. That's the position, the red and the green there. The white, blue, orange, where does that need to go? To here. The yellow, blue, red needs to go down here, and the white, orange, green to here. So on this occasion, I have a 2+2 swap, and I can easily fix it with 3 cycles. I do, however, in fact, I'll just do that now. So that's just 3 of these again. And all the corners are in. We can sort of check that by turning, and we'll see all the corners are done. I do want to show what to do if you do not have something that simple. Okay, this is a more normal or likely scenario, I guess, where we've got a corner in position and we've got another 3 corners that are not. So they need to be cycled. Now, the thing about this puzzle is that there is a very specific corner that you need to take care of first if you're going to be doing some cycling. And you might initially think it's this one, but in actual fact, it's this one over here. And the reason for that is this. Let's say that I was going to cycle these 2 here. I would first go about doing an up, up, down, down, and then I'd bring the next corner into position. The problem is when I try and undo my up, up, down, down, now that pair is blocking what I want to do. So that is why when I get a situation like this and I have 3 to go, I forget about the 3. I don't worry about the fact that that's done. And I say, this is the one I want to place first. That is a white, red, green. And therefore, I just need to do a 2+2 swap to get the white, red, green into there. Now here, it's not immediately obvious how that's going to happen unless I turn it around like this. And note that I've still got the usage of those faces. And now these 2 corners will swap. So will these 2. And I can still turn because that pair is not going to get in the way. And that one is certainly not either. So that is what I would do first. Place that corner. I'll return it to where it is. That's now done. And that'll leave me 3 corners here that I can cycle. And for that, I've got to do white, orange, blue has got to go here. White, orange, green to here. Red, yellow, blue down to this one. So my piece movement is here. And because of that, I'm going to turn my upper face first and then do my up, up, down, down. So if my piece movement was this way, I'd be doing this first and then moving the other one in. So because it's the opposite direction, I want to move the white, orange, green over to here. And then, so let's do that. And then you'll notice the pair is sitting there, but it does not affect my ability to go up, up, down, down. And that's why this corner is the one you want to do. Now we undo that and we undo the up, up, down, down. And all of the corners are now in place. And again, if we put those things into position, we'll see, yep, they're all done. And the only thing left now is to twist them. I was going to say cycle them, but they are cycled. We need to twist them. Well, the twisting can be done in really the same method. And again, I want to focus on the problem corners first. So the first problem corner that I want to focus on is going to be this one. And this needs to twist clockwise. So I look at this and say, hey, that's going to twist anti-clockwise. I'll take that. That's fine. The problem is that I can't really get this one done in this configuration for the same reason, because I'm going to be wanting to do this, turn it around. So because of that, all I'm going to do is twist this face here to put this corner into this position or this position, whatever works. And let's have a look at the one that's come up. That one is already done. So either I want to do something which moves another corner to here. This is an anti-clockwise one. So what I could happily do is a front prime and a right prime. And then I've got 2 corners sitting here, clockwise twisting, anti-clockwise twisting. And that's what I'll now do. So twist it clockwise with 2 up, up, down, downs. Then move the other one in, twist it anti-clockwise. And then undo that and undo my setup moves. So I did a front prime, right prime, so I'll undo the right, now undo the front. And you'll notice that one, which was the one we really were interested in, is done. So something like that. That only leaves us with 2 corners. Now, because I want them in these 2 positions, it's obviously super simple just to do a setup there. So what direction? The yellow, in fact, let's look at this one. The yellow, green, red needs to go clockwise. So I'll turn them up here, go clockwise, anti-clockwise, away I go. Put it back, undo that setup, and finally return both of those things. And you can see that this staggered block has been solved. And so that is obviously why it's called a staggered block. Not too difficult a puzzle, which is nice. We've had some others that are a little bit more challenging, and there will be many more that are a lot more challenging than that. But absolutely good to have a puzzle that you can feel like you're having success on. So that is the staggered block. Well, this is the puzzle for the next video. This one is called Ray Ray's Bandaged Cube. Bit of an interesting history here, and it is, I'll go into that in the next video, but what does this have? Well, if you look at it on the standard view, it's got a big slice running from front to back through the up face, and it's got a block down to down front right. So that's the only two parts on it. And you'd think, oh, there's only two parts. It should be pretty straightforward. Well, I had to invent a new sequence to twist the corners. So I'll tell you all about that in the next video.